We are book crunchers. In this video, we'll be doing part 4 of the book Inside the Criminal Mind by Dr. Stanton E. Samenow. We'll be doing chapters 9, 10 and 11 in this video. Chapter 9. Criminality is primary, drugs secondary. Again and again, criminals have declared that drugs have altered their lives drastically, changing them into someone very different from who they were before. Many offenders maintain that their substance abuse caused them to commit crimes. The criminal who regularly abuses mind-altering substances or prescription drugs is perpetually dissatisfied, restless, irritable, and bored. Before drugs ever came into the picture, he was a controller, a liar, a person who promoted himself at the expense of others. The sophisticated user prefers particular drugs for specific purposes and is well informed about the advantages and disadvantages of each. Amphetamines provide a quick infusion of energy but a severe letdown following cessation of use. Opiates knock out fear and sharpen thinking given optimal dosage, but there's a risk of dependency. Sedative hypnotonic drugs help the criminal assume an I don't care attitude, but dosage is difficult to regulate, and risk of physical dependence is high. Marijuana is a desirable party drug, relatively easy to obtain, but not powerful enough to be of much help by itself if a user is looking to lessen his fear of committing high-risk crimes. Some speak of the courage that alcohol gives them to approach and seduce a prospective partner. Others abjure the use of alcohol because it interferes with coordination and clouds their thinking. For the individual with a criminal personality, drug use primarily facilitates bigger and more risky crimes, sexual conquest, and an enhanced sense of power and control. If the user seeks a religious encounter, he may experience that. If he is depressed and thinking of ending his life, drugs may facilitate suicidal thinking and behavior. Some criminals require increasing amount of a particular substance to provide the same impact they had experienced when using less. This is called the tolerance effect, and physical dependence may develop. The criminal's addiction is not just to a drug, but to an entire way of life. Chapter 10. The criminal as a terrorist. Most men who become ruthless dictators were criminals long before they attained their positions of absolute authority. In his classic book, The Psychopathic God, Robert G. L. Wade provides more than 500 pages of analysis of Adolf Hitler. His observations provide evidence that from childhood, Adolf Hitler manifested thinking and behavior patterns common to criminals. Wade notes that temper tantrums were the means little Adolf had used to frighten his doting mother into compliance with his demands. By age 11, Hitler was no longer the obedient star pupil of previous years. Rather, he was argumentative, self-opinionated, willful, arrogant, and bad-tempered. The young Hitler demanded of his fellow pupils their unqualified subservience, fancying himself in the role of a leader. According to Wade, Hitler's 12th year was unusually important in his personal development. The boy, who had been the star pupil of village schools, began to fail. The outwardly cocky, hyperactive ringleader of a robust neighborhood games became the morose, self-absorbed, withdrawn pre-adolescent who talked to trees on lonely hills, orated to the winds, fought with his parents, caricatured his teachers, and hated the world. Hitler's academic performance deteriorated so that he had to leave one school and enter another, which he left before graduating. At 16, Hitler purchased a lottery ticket, not unusual in itself, but Wade writes, "What is striking about young Hitler is his absolute conviction that he would win. He planned how he would spend the money. When he did not win, he went into a blind fury." The rest of the infamous story of Adolf Hitler is that of a criminal who amassed the power to terrorize, torture, and slaughter millions. Criminals searching for excitement are ripe for recruitment. They require little persuasion and need not travel far to obtain training. A criminal does not have to attend a training camp in Afghanistan to learn how to construct bombs. In fact, the Boston Marathon bombers constructed their bombs based on an Al-Qaeda article, How to Build a Bomb in the Kitchen of Your Mom. Professor of Management Information Mary Wright noted that both the internet and the open environment of US colleges and universities provide forums for the presentation of radical messages that appeal to certain young people, and, she observed, individuals have a tendency to seek out other like-minded individuals. This last point is corroborated in a Central Intelligence Agency report that states many terrorist groups depend on prison recruitment success to swell their ranks. Chapter 11. Decent People. Every offender, male or female, juvenile or adult, believes he is, at heart, a good person. One way of maintaining that good opinion of themselves is through religion. As this world expands, the criminal as a child encounters increasing temptations, and his mind focuses on doing what is forbidden. Criminals return to religion out of nostalgia for childhood. Many offenders turn to religion in prison. Religion has little to do with how the criminal lives. For criminals, religion and evil exist side by side, each compartmentalized from the other. It is as though by having prayed and confessed his sins, the criminal has emptied his cup of whatever evil it might have contained, so that he has more latitude to do as he pleases. Although the criminal may not accept what others consider to be moral standards, he claims to have his own. Other people are liars, scoundrels, perverts, and criminals, not he. He looks down on them as depraved because they do things he would not. For this reason, it is not surprising that prison cultures are so highly judgmental, and some prisoners, especially those who exploit children or the elderly, are viewed as the lowest of the low and require protective custody.